Yo, 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 it's your boy Joe, and I came to tell you that I glow like a polo shirt. I'm still working on the intro. Last part's a little wonky. But don't worry, I will have it ready at some point. But I'm just testing stuff out, 'cause that's how I am. So, of course, you might remember that I said that I would be putting out another video that was on Saturday. I didn't do that. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be the video. It's my Civil War review. You can see how cool anime shirt on. I believe in the last video I revealed that I like Japanese stuff, like sushi. I hadn't actually tried sushi until this year, and I wasn't sure if I like it. I like it. It's fine. It's fine. So to get right to it, well, not to, but there's some other stuff. Some other stuff that I like is not only comic books, not only comic book movies like Civil War, but also comic book TV shows. And there was some news for some of them that happened, and stuff like that. I want to do more videos like that, and that might be videos that I put out on days that aren't Saturday, and they're just really short. They're kind of short, as short as they are. It might be longer or shorter depending on topic. On something like this, and basically it's that on ABC they canceled. They didn't really cancel, but they're not moving forward with two shows anymore. One of those shows is Marvel's Most Wanted, which you probably haven't heard of because there's not any episodes of it. It was going to be a series, but then it fell through. And then they decided to do it again, and they had characters leave Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the main show that's on ABC, that's a Marvel show, although it doesn't really have Marvel characters necessarily. Those two characters are supposed to move off into their own show, but now they have decided again to not move forward with it. So that show is probably never going to happen, I would say, at this point. But the other show is Agent Carter. Got canceled. Even though fans are still rooting for it, I don't really think that it's going to be able to come back. The ratings were kind of down in the second season. I did enjoy it, but it'll be it's sad, but it's not too sad. Also, Supergirl, which a lot of people hate, a lot of people don't. I watched it. I thought it was fine, but the budget for it was so huge that they were having a bit of trouble with it, in that they didn't know if they should renew it or not. So it is renewed kind of, but it's moving over to CW instead of being on CBS, and it's moving from, I believe, filming in the US to filming in Canada, in Vancouver, and that's supposed to make some of the costs lower. But they are getting more episodes. They have 22 episodes in the second season, so hopefully that will get better. Also, another thing is people hope that Legends of Tomorrow will get better. Another DC show that hasn't gotten a whole lot of love, but I think it can do better. But there was also some interesting things. You might hate what happened last episode, you might not. I watched it. I thought it was very interesting. I might talk about it in another video, though. This is for Civil War, so all spoilers for Civil War now are going all out. If you don't want spoilers for Civil War, then leave this video and wait for the DVD release, because at this point, if you haven't seen Civil War, then I really don't know, like, what you, it's been out a good while. I saw it, so yeah, you should have too, if you can afford it. If you can, then that's fine, but don't watch the rest of this video. So this is my Civil War review. So I'm going to say what I liked, what I disliked, and of course give my score. Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it a 1 out of 10? It's out of 10. How much did I give it? So here we go. So here's A little breakdown of the movie. So the first part is with basically kind of the Avengers, and they're going and trying to fight evil and stuff, you know. But it turns out that they kind of mess up and kill some people, and so the government's like, you know, the first time that you came together, you killed people. Like the second time, you killed people too. Then a third time, you also killed. Now this is the fourth time. Every single time you help people, they end up dying too. So is this really the best thing to do? And they're like, yeah, you need to sign all this stuff. And his Cap's like, I don't know, man, you know. So I don't like the government, really, because, you know, it turned out to be Hydra. S.H.I.E.L.D. did, at least, and they were kind of the government. So he doesn't really trust them. And I'm on Cap's side. I don't trust them. And, you know, it turned out that they were kind of wrong, kind of. I mean, really, you could have been on Iron Man's side, and you could have been on the right side. But in the comics, if you were on Iron Man's side, I'm sorry, I haven't read the comics. I'm pretty sure Iron Man's the bad guy in that. Okay, that he is. But in this movie, it is different than Civil War comic. Even without reading the comic, it is. I'm pretty sure it's pretty different. Basically, because in the comic, I would think that there is many different battles. In the movie, there is one battle between the two sides, and that is basically it basically. like it's not the Civil War. It's more of like a, I don't know. It's a little wonky with the title, but overall it's good. But I don't know that I would call it Civil War really, because I don't know that it really is like a war that, you know, like it's like, okay, Tony has like 100, you know, superheroes on his side, Cap has 100 on his side, they're going across the world fighting in all these different places. No, that's not what happens. But you have a bit of the stuff like Cap, you know, after some circumstances he has to go into hiding with some other people, because they think that, you know, he's not really a vigilante, but basically not a good guy, basically. So throughout the movie, there's good things. Overall, I think that, you know, while it might not necessarily be Civil War, I still think it's really good. And the fight scene, while it's not, I wouldn't say that it's like, oh, it's the, like everybody was saying this fight scene is like the best fight scene, you know, ever. Of course, you have to say everything has to be the best thing ever. I thought that it was great, but it wasn't like bam. It was like bam, you know, like it was high, but it wasn't that high. From what I'd been hearing, it had been that high, you know, way up there. So it was still good though. There's a lot of, you know, chokiness. If you don't like that, then yeah, we don't care about it right now. But I liked it. It's cool action stuff. You gotta see a ton of the different people. So let's talk about each individual person. So Captain America. I like Captain America in this movie. You know, at some point I think even he wasn't sure if he was doing what was right or not. But you know, he had what he thought was what he needed to do, and he did that, and it turned out to be right, basically. So, you know, he's good. Tony, basically, I mean, with everything that happens in the movie, I can kind of agree with him in that okay, you know, some stuff happened that might not have been good to you and you know, your family and stuff, but you know, all in all, I think Tony had a pretty good arc. Scarlet Witch, loved Scarlet Witch's arc. The Vision had a pretty cool arc. Hawkeye, loved Hawkeye. He's getting really better, but I don't know, he's not really like the comics, at least the newer ones. I haven't read a ton or any of the older Hawkeye comics. I don't even know if there was any. But I read some of the newer ones and I really liked them, but it was really different because he was like living with all these other people. He didn't have a family or anything, and it was, you know, there's gangs, and he was like protecting the building and stuff. It was very different, but still, it's cool. Hawkeye. Falcon was pretty cool. Red Wing, they, you know, of course they had to change a bit, but you know, that's what you have to do. It's too bad, but then it's also like, you know, it's not a huge thing, so it's not super disappointing in that way. Bucky, the thing that you'll realize in this movie, hopefully, is that if you didn't think Bucky was OP in the first movie, that's fine. If you didn't think he was like, oh well, he's not, he might be really cool, but he's not OP in the second movie, then that's fine. Although some people might have. In the third movie, though, like, like he is OP. Like he is like crazy good at just being really cool and a great fighter. So yeah, he's what you want on your side, not going after you to kill you. So who else is there? Black Widow was fine. She didn't have a huge role. Hawkeye didn't either, but I think Hawkeye stood out to me a bit more than Black Widow. Brody was good. He didn't have a, you know, a huge role either. Black Panther had I really liked Black Panther. At first, basically, some things happen and he kind of goes more on a search for revenge than a search to, you know, protect people and be a superhero. But by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, you basically see that he's a pretty good guy, all in all. And yeah, I mean, he seems like he's a cool character. He made me really happy and excited for Black Panther. Also made me excited is that Lupita Nyong'o and Michael B. Jordan have been added to the cast of Black Panther. So yeah, and 90% of the cast is supposed to be African American. You know, nobody will be able to say that this movie is racist with Black Panther because like it can't be. They're not whitewashing or anything. Well, let's get it. So, but the person that you all want is Spider-Man, and I just have to say that Black Panther. Okay, that, you know, that's cool and all, Black Panther. It's cool and all for, you know, Infinity War or whatever. Spider-Man was amazing in this movie. They got Spider-Man. Like, he is as young as he should be. He's making the right chokes. He looks right. He feels everything. Everything is just amazing with Spider-Man. And I really like this movie. But I was like, if I like this movie, I think it's my favorite Marvel movie right now. But how I like movies and maybe TV shows, but not necessarily, but really movies, is that the newest one basically, if it doesn't really disappoint me, then it'll jump up to the first place, just because I've kind of tired after seeing the other ones 2 times even. It's like, I already saw it. But when you get something new and it has cool stuff in it, you're like, yeah! So, I would say that is probably my favorite Marvel movie, but Spider-Man, I think, could cement itself as just the best superhero movie of all time. Maybe not, but that's what I think. So I really liked Spider-Man. Okay, he's the best part of the movie. If you just go see the movie for Spider-Man, then that's great. Now, my theater had a bit of problems, so the post-credit scene with Spider-Man, a bit of the sound was off, so I didn't get to hear some stuff, but I kind of got it. So yeah, that made me excited for Spider-Man. Of course, Iron Man's going to be in it. That was some really good chemistry between Spider-Man and Iron Man. So can't wait for that. It was awesome. Spider-Man also had some pretty good chemistry with everybody else in their big fight scene, because he was in that fight scene. So overall, I really liked it. One character that I thought was Zemo. That whether he was a good character or not, you could say, but was he Zemo? I don't think so. I haven't, again, I do call myself, to myself at least, that I'm a comics enthusiast. You know, I like to say, this is right in the comics, this is not right, you know? Like in Supergirl, when they made Jimmy Olsen African American, I think that you could have done that and still made the character, but it felt to me that the character was not there. It wasn't Jimmy Olsen. It was James Olsen instead. So I thought with Zemo it was kind of the same. That for me, maybe for other people they were like, even without the costume, it's still it felt like Zemo. It felt like what he would do. To me, it didn't really feel like Zemo to me. So I wasn't, but I mean that's Marvel's thing. They don't do the villains really well. So I can kind of push it to the side and be like, okay, it's not a huge deal that's gonna make me like, oh man, it's so disappointing because Zemo didn't wear a mask at all in the movie, which he didn't. But yeah, I mean overall, really liked it, really liked it. So that's what I gotta say. Now, of course, as I said, I would show you my likes and my dislikes. Instead, I kind of went with each character and told you if I liked or disliked about them, or if it was just kind of, it's cool, it's cool. So I did it a bit differently, but, with my videos, I like to do them I have a bit of an idea of what I want to do, because, you don't want to go in totally blind, but usually I just kind of make it up as I go along. That's why this video is going to be really long, because I did just that, but I am going over a ton of the stuff. I thought the action was really good, really good. I think maybe it could be better, but it was really good. I had one problem with the special effects and CGI or whatever, where there's one scene and it happens multiple times in the movie. It's Cap's falling down from the building. It goes like bam, and then he kind of rolls off onto another one. But it's near the beginning of the movie, I believe, and it happens, and he falls and does that, and it didn't look right to me. I don't know how they filmed it or whatever, but it didn't look like they actually had a stunt person doing that. Now, maybe you can't do that. Maybe you just die if that happened, but it it didn't look realistic to me. So that took me out of the movie for a second, but it wasn't a huge deal. The story, I'm not a person who really needs to talk about the story. I thought it was good enough. So yeah, that's about all I could say. They do kill a few characters, and while I might be kind of sad for some, the biggest spoiler is that no huge characters die, basically. So there's no way that you can be like, oh man, they killed off Captain America. They didn't do that. So I was actually really happy with the movie because of that, because I still loved it. So I'm like, you don't need to be killing off people every episode, let alone, just every season even. Just, you don't really need to kill off people. Like, you can, but you don't necessarily need to. There's other ways that you can put drama in there and stuff. So that's what I think. Yeah. that's my review of Civil War. There's not a lot more that I can think of. I thought everybody did a good job. Yeah. Agent 13 was, she was cool. She didn't have a huge part in the movie. So yeah, so now I'm going to get to my overall score out of 10 for the movie. What is it going to be? Dun, 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 dun. 9 out of 10. I think that is something, unless there's literally nothing that is wrong with the movie, I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10, just because 10 out of 10 I think is just, it's basically perfection. Even though some people, have given it, like, well, there might be certain problems, but I think it's 10 out of 10. I think just 9 out of 10 is good. I really liked it. Maybe, maybe it doesn't necessarily deserve that, but in my opinion, it deserves it. It's a 9 out of 10. There's not really any major problems with it or anything. So, 9 out of 10. I will see you next week with another video that should be shorter than this one. Bye.